Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. I don't know, I kept thinking, how should I open this video? Because I always say, hey guys. But alright guys, welcome back to the channel. It's too basic. I don't know, I'll come up with something. But anyways, here's my review of Goliathess, the newest taunt earth bounty hunt monster with reverse healing. So first, let's see her finisher. I've seen a review of her and I completely forgot. Boom. Oh, you know what? There's a couple rares, I think. At least, I remember seeing that finisher on a rare monster. So first, I usually don't check out the stats, but I'm going to check it out right here. At base rank, almost level 100, at level 100, you almost have 150,000 health. So, wow, pretty good, basically. And then, she's in two pretty great books for a taunt monster. She's in the Family's book and the Evil Legion, and she's a barbarian in case you needed it for an Era Saga, which I know there's like no Megaton barbarians, at least back when I had to use them. So she's pretty good in that sense. Goliathess wasn't a barbarian originally, but one day she camped amongst the barbarians and they were so scared of her that they didn't dare tell her that she needed to work like the rest of the tribe. So they catered to her every request or grunts they've learned to interpret, hoping that if they ever go to war, she'll take their side. Alright, so she's kind of unreliable in that sense. You know, just because you put her on her team doesn't mean that she's going to fight for you. And let's see your finisher. Big Bad Hog. Monster. Okay, I just read moderate as monster. Deals moderate earth damage to all enemies, applies bleed and reverse healing. I'm gonna be honest, that's a really bad finisher. I've seen moves that do better. But let's check out her skill set. And first, of course, we gotta feed her. I'm kind of running. Ooh, that's a pretty good move. Applies reverse healing to one enemy. Usually it's gonna hit the Megaton or taunt monster who does heal themselves, so that's good, plus a 40% shield. So let's see, how much will I spend on you? I don't want to spend it all, but I did. Alright, a mace thing. Deals moderate metal damage to one enemy. 0 cooldown, 20 stamina. You know what? This would be decent if she was an attacker, but because of her taunt trait, I know she's not an attacker. And I'll go over the traits again later. I know I kind of, like, grazed by it, but there's definitely a little bit more there to pick apart. Add more. Applies to 33, oh my god, the 33% with, like, her and the other barbarian, Gothram, otherwise read as like Goat Ram. It reminds me a lot of the legendaries, and it does remind me that barbarians are pretty bad generally. But hey, so on a turn 0 cooldown, this could be really good defensively. You might just run this, but I gotta see the rest of her moves first. Double Wobble applies reverse healing to one enemy. So the way it was put to me by Abrigo, another Monster Legends YouTuber who's not like posting right now, but he's still my friend, is that, like, usually you'll be fighting King Autumn and Fropsy, and they both heavily heal, and they're both going to be heavily used because they're both really good. So, running this move, you'll just hit it on the one monster who it's going to take effect on, and you'll get your 40% shield on a 1-turn cooldown, 35 stamina. Pretty great, honestly. You might just run this, but I still got to see the rest of the moves. Removes shield from one enemy monster. Okay, so it's clear this is supposed to be like what you'd remove from another taunt monster. Reminds me of Cuberion in the sense where they were like, oh, shield break and, you know, percent removal, but for her it's reverse healing. They'll be so great against other taunt monsters, which he wasn't really, but she looks like she could be. Honestly, I wouldn't run it. Shields are nothing in the meta. Fropsy and King Autumn don't use shields, and they're the best ones out there. Best taunt and mega taunt monsters out there right now. I can't even think of any, like, other than Slab monsters who use shields. And if you can't shield break, no reason. So honestly, don't even think about running this move. Weapon Wiggle. Deals moderate earth damage to all and applies reverse healing. So this is basically her finisher, but plus bleed. So her finisher is really pointless. Reverse healing is just amazing, especially if you're a beginner and there's like no Megaton monster and you just hit it on everyone. And they have, who do they have? Like Mother Talica or Cyanithera. Healing is very popular with noobs. And then they just heal themselves to death. So, honestly, worth running. Knocking. Deals moderate metal Deals moderate metal damage to one enemy. So, I do like her kind of attacking aspect. But then again, it is low damage. But you always want your monsters to be able to do some sort of damage, or else they'll get stuck in like a 1v1. And if they can't do any damage, they'll die. So I dislike that it doesn't remove shields first, but it removes shields from all and attacks one. So maybe worth running. Let me see the rest of her moves first. Come Piglets. And I like the fact that she doesn't heal, so if she faces herself, she can't reverse heal herself, and that'll be a bad thing. And she can remove shields when she gives herself shields. Seems like she's her own counter. Applies reverse healing to all enemies. Alright, so you would have two. So you'd actually decide whether you want this one or this one. Let's see. Oh, this one only has 1 turn cooldown and less stamina, so I think you'd run this. Applies reverse healing to all enemies and applies a 50% life shield to itself. So the 50% life shield is pretty great. This one is basically the same thing, but to one enemy, which is good in case of dodge area, and a 40%. So even if you're doing these back to back, you only go from 50 to 40 instead of like from 50 to 30. So, Huff and Puff deals moderate metal damage to one enemy, removes shields from one enemy. Alright, so having looked over all her skills, I think that this, or maybe Weapon Wiggle or Add More, your decision, but since this is on a 1 turn cooldown, I think it's more worth it to run Come Piglets, and you don't really need 2 reverse healing moves. So yeah, this is my definitive skill set for the monster. Spammable 33.3% shield. So in case you're dying to dots, you got no stamina, because that'll happen to you a lot. You'll get all your stamina drained and you have a few dots. If you can't cleanse, just do this shield and then don't die, you know? Keep your other monsters, preferably dodge area monsters, behind you as you just tank more and more, but with your high life and shield, you should be good. Come Piglets, because reverse healing to all is one of her main mechanics. You really want to run that, and the 50% shield is great. Same thing here, except if it's dodge area, you want to be able to hit that 1 with the reverse healing, and a 40% shield. So she has 2 shielding moves in my skill set. Well, actually 3. But this is small and this is medium. And knocking. Deals moderate metal damage to one enemy, removes shields from all enemies. This is just in case they have a shield. It's a moderate metal to one enemy. Light is popular, so having a metal attack is ideal. And yeah, that's my reason for that. I also feel like I didn't really go over her trait. Now, I'm kind of upset that Taunt isn't the first one, because, you know, when Taunt is over here and Orc is over here, that feels weird. But to go over her trait, Orc is a much better version of Status Caster Hardened, because from 20 to 25% isn't just a 5% increase in chance. Literally, it's like much higher, you know? Just like how Bulwark is more like, they're gonna miss more than half the time if you got Bulwark. Chances are. So pretty good trait, better than Hardened. Sad that there isn't like a bleed immunity with it, but it's whatever. Taunt, obviously her main selling point, an amazing trait. So enemies can only single attack target you, which means if they try and damage one of your other allies, like single attack, it'll only hit you. And if they do an AoE but your allies have dodge area, you'll be the only one harmed. So kind of a trade-off that this is your sacrificial lamb, but you know, it's whatever. And then luckily people don't really get them to rank 3 too often. It's not really that useful in this case. I mean, like, for beginners, this is a beginner review. People don't often get rank 3s. But for this rank 3, she's got self-stun immunity. I gotta say, I appreciate stun immunity, but it's really not necessary. And then by that, I mean it's really not that great. You wouldn't, like, go crazy for it. And, ooh, do I want to do... yeah, she's a taunt monster. I'm gonna need this. Boom. Got her pretty well ruined out. Let me get her relics. After being damaged? Yeah, maybe I upgrade that soon. Rude Chaw's armor. Oh my god. Do I? Start of the battle gives, when this turn starts, heals. Ooh, this would make her so powerful. Only reason I won't do it is because I might get better monsters. I don't really want to waste all of it on her. And I put her in this habitat with them because they're both so big. They have like the same looking hitbox and spikes and stuff. But yeah, consensus, having that been my first real time seeing her in all her glory and reviewing her moves, her best everything, pretty great taunt monster. Definitely great for beginners. And bounty hunt monsters are always going to be very easy to get, so chances are you're going to get her. Look, he has 400, but I can already just plop her in here for the purposes of this. So let me see if I can show you guys well enough. So I gotta say, I like her skill set. Her trait is pretty good. Obviously the main thing is taunt. And dark element. This kind of makes what I was about to say sound like goofy, but the dark element isn't used too often in the... Oh, you were possessed. It isn't used too often in the meta, so you don't really have to worry about you being earth and there being a dark monster on the other side. Although, I gotta say, it looks like there's some pretty good dark monsters coming up soon. And Kanekro. He's just been released and he's pretty insane. So let me see. Can I pull this off? Time stop. You're drowning. And unlike Armor Gaming's monster reviews, I am playing to win. And boom. Just gotta finish you off with a little tap. And victory. Alright, you know what? I didn't really get to show her at all, other than her tanking the hits. But I enjoyed that victory, you know? I will never not. So, obviously I gotta get her to level 100. I'm gonna invest in her for now. Although, I do gotta invest in another monster I've just bought, which I'll show later this video. So look, he's another reverse healing monster. Sadly, none of them have reverse healing, but I can showcase her applying her own shield. So boom, Pure Pandolph is dead. Okay, he had a Flamaria's Essence. At this level, he had that. I'm kind of surprised. And with the right dots, you are instantly dead. And then look right here. So right here, if they were ideally alive or she had healing, look, I would just single target reverse healing, apply 40% shield. Now look how tanked she is. 40% is a lot of life. So victory, taking another W. I'll leave it there just so like I already got 3 chests there. I don't want to overdo it. So sadly here, I wanted all these guys at rank 3, but goliathess is like a priority now. She's pretty great. So, she's a must-have at rank 1. At rank 0, she doesn't really see too much use. Like, I just used her in PvP without taunt, when taunt is like her big thing. So, that's a mistake on my part, but if you watched it normally, you wouldn't have been able to tell anyways, so it's fine. So yeah, definitely invest in her. Give her some pretty decent runes. Usually, when a bounty hunt taunt monster comes out, and believe me, this is not the first time, they're usually pretty lackluster in comparison to another taunt monster who also releases. Like, when there was Steel Goroth, there was Slab, who was 100 times better. And sadly, that has also happened here, where you have her, but then you have Fropsy, who is like the best taunt monster ever. Maybe definitively. But she's actually pretty good. A lot better than Steel Goroth was back in his day. So that is about it for my monster review. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like to support the video. I try and make these as useful to everyone and fun as I can. I like to put some personality into them. Leave a comment and I will respond. Look at that. She just took him out with like her elemental advantage. Leave a comment. I would love to hear your thoughts. If you've got any big cons to her, leave it down in the comments down below, because I'm optimistic, so I wouldn't have really seen it. I will say she can only counter a little bit, but usually taunt monsters can't really do anything but just be taunt monsters. Like back in the day, at least, you had like Cuberion and other taunt monsters who their moveset was really bad, but they were taunt monsters, so not much you could do about it. So I'd say she's pretty usable, but her skill set is really repetitive. And yeah. So leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Subscribe to join the Crab Army. We have just reached, I believe, 97 subscribers. That is an amazing, massive milestone, and now we are only 3 subscribers away from 100K. I mean, if you haven't subscribed yet, you got to be in that last 3, man. Like, that is an exclusive group so that you can be here, subscribe before 100. So, yeah, thank you for your time. Hope you found it helpful. Hope you enjoy my content. I hope you have a great day. And that's about it. Your favorite Omni-Crab, signing out.